Hello, good day to you. It's Talkin really, and today's story I am a little bit disappointed with hearing about this because the Labour Shadow DWP Secretary has come out with some very toxic comments. This story is Disability News Service, and Labour's new DWP Shadow Secretary it has come out with some pretty shocking statements. Now, why am I disappointed? Well, you know what? When we had the prospect of Jeremy Corbyn and his policies, and you've all seen the policies because I've made a video about it, the policies that were going to be implemented, which directly affect disabled people, were brilliant, and there was loads of them. And it looked to me that Labour had changed its ways. Obviously, it's responsible a long time ago, over 12 years ago, for introducing several things that are now the bane of our lives. The concept of bedroom tax, for example, and we're trying to reform the benefit system. So those two things are actually Labour ideas. But of course, the Tories have had 10, 11 years to change it, but they haven't. They've just made it worse. But now, when we had the prospect of getting somebody in who was decent and seemed like that he cared, we now find that this new guy, who is a shadow pension secretary, so he's actually just been employed, Jonathan Reynolds, basically, has come out with very toxic comments regarding disabled people. Labour's new shadow Works and Pension Secretary is facing anger from disabled activists and politicians after he said that people who put more in to the social security system should get more out if they lose their jobs. Now, obviously, the first to criticise was Karina Marchant, a deaf campaigner. This person stood for Labour at the last general election, and DPAC, Disabled People Against Cuts, have written an open letter accusing Reynolds of toxic statements, and they have accused Labour of fundamental ignorance around disabled people's oppression, which is why I'm very, very disappointed about this, because I thought they were different. In an article, Reynolds said that he wanted to see a social security system in which if you put more in, you get more out. One of the reasons that support for social security has diminished amongst parts of the country is the sense that people put into the system and they don't get anything out of it. But DPAC said that such comments were highly irresponsible because they would set social group against social group and would only lead to further social division and stoke the hate. DPAC pointed out in the letter that disabled people face huge barriers in terms of discrimination and lack of access, and so contribute less on average than non-disabled people, as do Black, Asian and minority ethnic BAME people, women and young children. Marchant said that she agreed with DPAC. She said that such a policy really threatens the people I work with, who will never work by reason of disability and so were unable to pay more in to the system to take more out. It's a betrayal of socialism and disabled people and other minorities. Another open letter, this time written by disabled Labour activist Gail Ward, has been signed so far by more than 200 Labour and disabled activists and allies. Gail Ward said that Reynolds' comments showed backward thinking in the Labour Party, and she said the idea that those who have paid less into the system should get less is nothing short of discrimination, and any party pushing this ideology should be ashamed of themselves. In the interview, Reynolds also repeated Labour's support for reform of the work capability assessment, making statutory sick pay more widely available and more generous, and ending the means testing element of universal credit. He also called for the temporary £20 a week increase in UC to continue after the pandemic is over, and to also be applied to legacy benefits like JSA and ESA. A Labour spokesperson said, "Disability benefits are not contributory and should never be. Under the Conservatives, Social Security in general, and disability benefits in particular, have been undermined and cut for ideological reasons, leaving too many people without the support that they need." That is the opposite of what a social security system is for. They appear oblivious to any concept of equal life chances. The more they respond, the more they are exposing a fundamental ignorance around disabled people's oppression. This confirms that despite policy commitments and pledges made under the previous Labour leadership, an understanding of disability issues was never embedded in the party. The belief held by certain elements within the party that they need to be seen to be tough on welfare clearly never went away. This approach is a mistake. It will lose them support and cost votes. We are aware that Jonathan Reynolds has been reaching out to individual disabled people who have criticised him over this. Our message to him is that warm words are not enough. We need solid policy commitments based on principles of dignity and fairness for all benefit claimants. And there you go. So that's the story. It is pretty much typical of politics. Anyway, have a good day and bye for now. This is a quick video just to tell you about this button, the join button. You may not have noticed it, but it is now on the front page, right next to the subscribe button. So if you're not subscribed, then I would appreciate you doing that, if you are. So of course you could take it one step further by becoming a member. And it's a very good system. It's integrated into YouTube, so everything in there. But essentially it's just like Patreon. And if you become a member, you have certain benefits that you can, benefit from. You've got some benefits that you can benefit from. What can you get? Well, you get priority viewing, you get members only stuff, you get some discount on merchandise, and of course, if you are lucky, you may even get some free stuff as well for being a member. So it's very easy to do. Just click the button and fill in all the details, and of course you'll become one of a select few. Now I want to just reiterate for anybody who's thinking I can't watch videos anymore, I have to pay. No, everything remains free, and of course there is no compulsion for you to do that. If you don't want to or you cannot afford it, it doesn't matter, because everything remains free. Obviously not the benefits though, because they're not free.